Hi there, how are you? Richard here. Let me ask you this. Are you a small business owner or you run an online business, products, services, whatever it may be? Maybe you're a lawyer like me, you provide coaching or so. You've been spending time, energy, money on ads, maybe driving traffic from Facebook or Google pay-per-click, Facebook ads to your website. You're getting views, you're getting likes, you're even getting clicks, but something happens on your webpage where you're not getting conversions, and those leads that come into your and visit your website aren't signing up for one or more of your email lists. Well, it might be because there's not the way you're interacting with those leads isn't the way they want to interact. So today, I'd like to introduce you to TARS. TARS is a chatbot generator that you can to build simple chatbots to easily deploy them. It makes it it's a very intuitive service to deploy chatbots. You can make them as simple or as complicated as you want. So today we're going to dive headlong into TARS. As you can see from the homepage of TARS, create conversational landing pages to improve your conversion rate by 50 to 200%. And if you haven't noticed already, in the lower right-hand corner is the chatbot feature. So I'll just go, this is a little GIF that they included to direct some attention. When you click on it, it opens a chatbot. And then from there, you enter into conversation with the website that will ultimately lead to a collection of that lead's information. So I want to take you to the back end of TARS and show you what's there, what you get, and how to use it. And also we'll end with an example of how I deploy it in my business to boost conversions. Like I said, one of my businesses, I'm a lawyer. I have my own office out here in Queens, New York, and I use my website to drive a lot of traffic. And in addition to organic reach with blog posts and sharing that content, I do use some traffic from Facebook ads. And so what I do is I try to have different mediums by which when someone lands on the page, they'll engage with the website and leave their information. I found increasingly that people really want to use text. Text is not as direct as phone calls, which can be somewhat of a commitment in the mind of leads. Not as sort of loose or distant as email, because people just suffer through, I think, email overwhelm. But chatbots are great because I find more and more people love conversing through text. So I allow for people to text my office using their phones, but also deploying a chatbot on my website is great because people then really, really engage, and I found that it's boosted conversions on my website as well. So let me take you to through the dashboard pretty quickly, and then we'll dive into creating a chatbot. So here is your dashboard, a very simple navigation bar. If you want some tutorials, FAQs, and you can access the knowledge base here with the Getting Started guide. If you want some click-by-click tutorials, TARS offers video tutorials that show you how to deploy and use some of the features. My Chatbots is pretty much the homepage, which you'll see here. All the chatbots you're working on will be present here in the My Chatbots tab. Chatbot templates, if you don't know where to start, you have no idea where to begin, how to begin, TARS comes preloaded with access to lots and lots of templates. So let's say you're an insurance agent and you want to drive more conversions and you're selling life insurance. So maybe you want to do life insurance lead gen chatbot. Or if you're selling homeowners insurance, maybe you want to deploy that chatbot. Very simple. If you want to do that, you simply click on it. You can go through, you can toy around with the chatbot, see what it looks like, and then if you want to use a template, use it. Let's say you are I want to use local services if you're, let's say, a brick-and-mortar store. If you're a personal trainer, a photographer, any kind of service, let's see, this is maybe for a shipping store. If you own a shipping service, you take in packages and you want to generate more leads, drive more traffic, this is a template you can use. So lots of templates already built into the TARS system that you can use to hit the ground running. Finally, in the tabs, you have some settings where you can change your email address, your contact info, and then finally billing. These buttons up top are shortcuts to these sidebars, so they don't really do much. Home is going to take you to this screen. My Chatbots will take you to the My Chatbots tab. If you want to start a new chatbot or you want to access the templates, these buttons will take you there. Finally, you have a billing and then your personal settings and to log out. So we're going to go back to My Chatbots, and We'll go with one that I created recently, and this is deployed on my website. Actually, I want to show you the one that's currently, they're both deployed, but the one that we're going to visit later on. So we're going to go back to my chatbots, and sorry, Bankruptcy Consulting. So here's a chatbot that I built on my website, and we're going to see how it plays out later on, because I want to show you a real-life example of how a chatbot increases engagement. So this is for one of the practices that kinds of cases that I handle are bankruptcy cases. And so when people come to my website, and they're looking for bankruptcy information, they're looking for, I put out a lot of content, but it may not be what people are looking for. My blog posts are always case summaries and how this part of the law, people don't care about, they don't need to know about exemptions. They don't need to know about insider preference transfers. They don't care about that for the most part. If someone is coming to my office to file for bankruptcy, they want to know how bankruptcy affects them. Like, give me the quick and dry about what I need to know and how I can get started. And so this chatbot sort of gets them to where they want to go. And so that's why I've deployed on my website, and I found that's really helped to boost conversions. People who are visiting my website, instead of driving traffic to just the blog post, this gives them the option to check out some of the other stuff that they may not have otherwise encountered on my website. So it was super easy to build. As you can see, once you start putting things together, you just we'll go through building a simple chatbot real quickly, but you can change the name, questions, everything inside of it. So we'll go back here, and let's start building a new chatbot. Why not? Okay, and we're gonna just create from scratch. We're gonna say my micro coach test. So it'll create it. Again, if you want to just get a head start on it, you can always use one of the templates, but I don't even want to do that. I want to generate my own chatbot right from the get-go. So we're going to add a gambit. This is going to be our beginner's gambit. The beginning gambit, again, the first thing that exists is going to start off with this sort of black connector here, in that you can't amend or change that. So when you get into a gambit are each of these little boxes. Up here is the name of the gambit, so we're going to call this one welcome. Actually, we'll change that, and I'll show you why. I'm going to call it name, and I'll show you why in just 2 seconds. So down here, here's where you start building out the chat. This is the timing, so if you want to say this was going to take 2 seconds to come out, and then hi, welcome to my micro coach. And then what's my next message going to be? 3, I help people, we help people and businesses improve one micro step at a time. Cool. Can even add a little emoji if I want. Let's add a smiley face emoji. That's shades. Okay. Now, let's just say at this point, you build out some conversation, however you would build out a text conversation, right? Now, my next thing is I want to ask a question. And my question is going to be, this is going to take 2 seconds to come out. I want, let's get started, shall we? What's your name? Okay. At this point, I'm going to end, my chatbot is going to stop its conversation there. And then I want my user, whoever's on the site interfacing with this chatbot, I want a response from them. So I'm going to go down here, and as you can see, user input type, and there's all these different options. You can have text input. This will give auto suggestions. You can have buttons out there. So if you want to have a multiple option where, let's say you say, how are you feeling today? Happy, okay, sad. You can create buttons with that. Cards will do the same thing. You can have, instead of buttons, you can have cards that display other kinds of information. Maybe what kind of car do you drive? If you're an insurance agent, I drive it could be sedan, pickup, or commercial, right? And you have those cards can have, each one will have a different image, and then have some text as to what particular option that is. A star rating. Hey, how would you rate the service that you received calling us, whatever the case is. Calendar and time. This is going to be late. I'll do this later on when you want to book or allow someone to book a time or a date to call, or contact your office or your business, or you can limit it to date or time. If you want them to have a file input, so hey, upload your thing here. Okay, you want me to do your taxes? You can allow the user to upload files, maybe their location, and then when you end the conversation, you can do that here. Ending conversation, either the conversation comes to a full stop, or you can redirect them to one of the pages on your business site. So we're going to say right now, since we're choosing the name, I want to get their name. So here I'll have name. And then so if you want to do, like, I want here their first name. So sorry about that. I want your first name, because at some point I want to integrate this with my autoresponder, and I want all of this data that I collect to go into my autoresponder. And I use the tag name for first name. So I don't want to, if I use full name or something like that, it might get tricky. I don't want this to be an optional input, because I want to know who is interfacing my website when I contact them later on. So I need a name. And a multiple bubble input allows the user to enter multiple inputs. So for instance, tell me more about what's going on. And then if your question is, tell me more about what's going on, let's say as a lawyer, this multiple bubble input will then follow the question with press check mark when you're done. And it allows the user to put as much information as they'd like, and then in multiple bubbles, and then send that in. So let's say they put in, I am a family of 4, my income is $300,000 or $30,000, I have $100,000 of debt. If each one of those is a bubble, this allows the user to do all that. But for right now, I just want their name. Cool. Now we're going to add another gambit. Okay. Great, thanks. Great, thanks. Now watch what I'm going to do here. Name. I'm Rich. Okay. I like, oops, not a semicolon. I'd like a little more info, contact info, to send you some great resources when we're done. What's a good email address for you? Okay. Now in this one, I want to get an email address. So I'm going to say email. Same thing. I want an email, so this is not going to be optional. And I don't need multiple options. I just want one option. So that's going to be save. Okay. So now to simply connect it, to keep the conversation going, that's what I'm going to do. That's it, to connect, to keep the conversation going. Now let's add one more gambit, and then I want to start branching out. So this is the really cool, what makes chatbots so powerful. So here, actually, we're going to name this email. Oops, forgot about that. And the cool thing about this, as you can see, if you got to go back and make edits, it's so simple to go in, make your change, click save. So now this chatbot, I'm going to call feeling. Okay. Why? And I want to show you why I'm going to call that there. Okay. Thanks. Actually, since it's not a lot of type, and I'll do this. Now this one's going to be 3 seconds because there's more text. It's raining. It's raining here in New York City today. I wish the sun were out. How are you feeling today? And then, so now, since I'm asking them a multiple choice question, I can do it as text, but I don't want to keep doing text for this one. So I'm going to use buttons. And just to show you what cards looks like, if I do cards, as you can see, you can place an image. This is great for, again, if you're in insurance and you're trying to get leads for motor vehicle insurance, house insurance, property insurance, or business insurance. and you can put in the images, upload images here for each one of those different silos, and then also put a little information to make it a little more clear and guide the user through where they really belong. So that's really powerful. But for this purpose, I'm going to say just buttons and happy, hungry, or hangry. And if I want to use icons, I can add icons here that are built in to that. But I'm not going to use icons just to make this a little simple. Now here again, I don't want this to be an optional input. I don't need multiple bubbles. This is going to branch off now. So so far we've used some gambits and created questions that only require one response. But now we're going to dive off into 3 different trees, 3 different branches. And so from here, you're going to create a conversation specifically tailored to what the person entered. And then send on tap is as soon as they select an option, that's going to answer the question. Whereas if you deselect send on tap, they might be able to select multiple options, which we don't want here. We want to know which bucket does this lead fall into. So we're going to send on tap, save. And so now, as you can see, it branched off into our 3 different options. So what you do here is, let's say this is happy report, right? Let's say somebody happy report. You were okay. Let's go with 3. I'm so happy that you're feeling happy. And then here's your happy insurance report, right? And then the what they get would be, let's say you would have to tailor your offer specifically to these options so that it matches the conversation. I mean, you could circle it back. You can understand now how powerful this is. You can circle it back. Let's say you just have one guidebook, right? A report or an ebook, and you can circle all the conversations to come back and then funnel everyone into that one thing. Or you can do it like this: tailor your messaging on your end result page to whatever the conversation they were having. So in this, let's say I have the end result hosted on a web page, right? So I would do an auto page redirection, put in the web page, and then this page would be www. I don't know, whatever it is, website.com/happy report. And then when the conversation ends, it would take the user to that free report where they would download it. And so far you collected their name, email address, whatever other information you wanted to collect here. And so now you can see how you start connecting these and building out this conversation. Very simple, very intuitive. Let me just plug this in here. Now let me go back one step. Here we collected their name, right? Remember that we collected a name in this gambit. And then here I put great thanks name, but I don't want to do that. If I'm having a conversation, I want it to be as maybe lifelike as possible. So now what you can do here is call up any response that a user input by using these call features. So you just type in 2 of these brackets, and then it'll pull up whatever you name the gambit. It's just going to populate here, and this will pull up the response from that gambit. So if you remember, we called the first box name. This is going to pull the information from that box, user response.name. So when I insert that here, it's going to call up whatever the person put in. That's going to be called up. So now it built into the chatbot we have into the program is a preview of this. So let's just see what it's looking like. Welcome to my micro coach. Blah, 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 blah. What's your name? And as you can see, it pulled in my name from that box before. And then if I want to keep on going with it, enter in whatever email address. And let's see, how am I feeling today? I'm hangry. And this because I didn't build it out, so it's gonna stay there. So it's only because there's only one response. That was my fault. I should have picked happy there. But as you can see, it's so easy to implement, deploy. And as you can go on, let your imagination run wild in terms of building out a chatbot. Very easy, very intuitive to use, just absolutely amazing. And then sharing it and how to deploy it, very simple. If you have a website and you want to deploy it by a link, you can do that here. Just copy this code and then deploy it on your website through a button. That's what I've done in a couple of places on my websites. If you want to use a widget, if you can copy this code and then insert it into the body tag, and then it's gonna, just like we saw on the front page, let me get back to that. This is the widget that you can place in the body of your code. Your website, if you're using WordPress, is pretty easy to deploy, and insert the code there. You can also customize this, change this image here, and also change the text. If you have WordPress, again, you can download a WordPress app and then activate the chatbots through there. And then if you want some advanced widgets, sort of tracking and whatnot, you can do that here. So now, as you can see, super simple, super easy to use, unbelievably powerful, unbelievably creative and customizable. So now I want to show you again, to sort of wrap this up, how I use this on my website. Here's one of my websites. It's my law office website. I'd love to know what you think about it. But one of the things I've deployed it on is with bankruptcy. And I was showing you the chat bot that I created for my bankruptcy. And so when the page loads, okay, here pops out the widget, and I can start a conversation with my lead. It'll take them through this map. And then what I did here was I created different options for different kinds of temperature audience. So you'll see that it'll direct them at some point if they want to go to a blog, if they actually want representation right now, if they want to, there's a course that I have tied to this, if they want to file their own bankruptcy, or they want more information but not looking to read stuff, I have a webinar up there. So this allows the person to then just jump straight into where they want to go. Incredibly, incredibly powerful, which is why I highly recommend that you consider deploying chatbots on your website. If you're interested in using TARS, again, I highly recommend it. You see how easy it is to use, how amazing it is, and how creative you can be in building out these chatbots so easily, and then installing them and deploying them on your website. So I hope you found this tutorial and review useful. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, rich@mymicrocoach.com. And also, if you're interested in signing up for TARS, you can do so through the link down below or on mymicrocoach.com. Thank you and take care.